Hey guys, editing me, a quick note. While I was in the process of recording this video, which was almost 2 hours long, my phone just was not cooperating. Mercury in Retrograde literally hates me. And so, I'm about to go up and into my recording space and re-record the pick a card segment of the video. And it will be loaded tomorrow. So what I said about yesterday being the ritual, well, now it's going to be on Wednesday. Mercury in Retrograde has absolutely hated me and hated my phone and hated every single thing about me. So I'm so sorry everything got a little bit screwed up, but unfortunately after, let's see, I've been doing this since 8 a.m. and it's now almost 3 p.m. That should tell you how many hours I've been trying to get this to work, and nothing just was going my way. So please stay tuned, and tomorrow you will have the pick a card reading, and on Wednesday there will be the ritual. Okay? Sorry about that, that's my cat. So, yeah. Thanks for your patience. Take care. Hello heathens, and welcome to my channel. I am Beauty Heathen, and my channel is generally dedicated to the exploration of paganism through the medium of cosmetics. If you feel my content would be of interest to you, or if you found it interesting up to this point and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Every subscription helps me get a little bit closer to being able to monetize my channel. And I see a lot of people in my analytics are watching my content but haven't subscribed yet, so I would greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind doing so. I'm not doing cosmetics in this video. I went to my local Pagan store on Thursday. So I figured I'd show you guys what I got. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this, because I am going to be using this stuff on my channel. As I've covered in previous videos with how to make a ritual candle and all that kind of stuff, you don't need this stuff, but it's pretty much just for me because I haven't been able to find my herbs. I haven't had any kind of magical herbs or anything for quite some time, so I decided to go out and pick up some things. Not a lot, just some. Of course I say that, but this bag was very expensive. I'm not gonna lie, this bag was very expensive. I spent $300 that day, and only one thing that I got isn't gonna be used on this channel, so like I said, an expensive bag. But I wanted to show you some of the goodies that I got, because some of the items I will also be using in videos for readings and things of that nature. I got this new deck called Universal Wisdom Oracle Cards. I did open it and I did start looking at some of the artwork. They are beautiful cards. Is this the deck that is a little bit of a pain in the butt right now? Actually, no, I don't think it is. A little bit. One of the decks that I bought is, it has almost like a gold on the side of it, on the side of the cards, and the cards are all kind of stuck together, so I'm trying to get them to separate. Same with even this card. For some reason, these shiny finishes make it really hard to get the cards to shuffle as you would want them to, but hoping with time and exposure to air and all that kind of stuff will help them start to loosen up. So there's one deck. And I'm not going to show you the cards quite yet because I am going to be using them in, I believe, a reading that I'm doing sometime this upcoming week. I bought another creativity candle. This is the company that I mentioned with the healing candle in my healing video from Crystal Journey Candles. It's the same company. And I use those frequently when I'm doing the art, the beauty aspect of it and doing cosmetics. Especially when I'm feeling a little bit stuck and hindered. I find that a little extra boost in energy kind of helps me come up with something. I got myself a Mercury retrograde candle because Mercury in retrograde has been making me its bitch. There's just no other way to put it. It has been awful. Absolutely awful. So, yeah, I did that. Okay, I don't think there's anything in here. Nope, I took it out. Sometimes my Pagan store will package things in these little boxes and I'll keep them just in case. You never know if you're going to be traveling and you want to bring some stones or something with you. I have found that sometimes those little boxes and you put tape around them, they make for really good storage while you're traveling or anything of that nature. I also got the Whispering Woods deck. These aren't really an oracle deck, but they have little phrases on them. So I'm looking forward to using those. Now don't go away after I'm finished with this, by the way. I'm going to do a reading after it for anyone who wants to watch the unbagging. Feel free to watch it through. For those who don't, I'll include a timestamp down below. Forgot to mention that. So, another deck I got is the Kuan Yin Oracle. Kuan Yin is a, I believe, Japanese goddess. This is the deck. I love this deck. Oh, I was wrong about the gold on the sides, but the finish is still makes the deck and the cards stick to one another a bit. Again, don't quite want to give a spoiler on the deck quite yet, so you'll see the artwork and everything soon. I haven't gone through any of the decks to look up meanings or anything of that nature, so whatever happens today, you will see live and in action. Another empty box. Not because there was nothing in it, just I took things out. But here's one of my favorite herbs. This is rosemary. This is an awesome, awesome herb that I use all the time, not just culinarily, which is partially why I got such a big bag, because I'm out of it to use in the kitchen. But I love using rosemary in protection and healing, love magic, you name it. I love this herb. It's an awesome all-around herb that you really can't go wrong with. At least was for me. I got linden flower, which they frequently just give a little blurb on it, but it doesn't necessarily give all the purpose. Linden flower is used for protection in European folklore. The branches are hung over doors and windows of the tree grown in gardens. And the tree grown in gardens, connected to masculine energy, Jupiter, and air. So there's one. And I got pennyroyal, which is said to be used for spells of purification, known for its uses in spells of protection and exorcism as well. That's one thing that is a common misnomer, that the Christian church pretty much has the rites of exorcism. Actually, exorcism started in shamanism. So there are people of all paths, of all spiritualities, of all whether they're Abrahamic or not, all paths that perform exorcisms. So that's not just a Christian thing. I almost had to do one once. Thankfully, I didn't end up having to do it. Not because I didn't want to, but because the, just situations. But it is one of those things where you have to be really careful. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't even try it. Just saying. I have rose hips, which is good for calling good spirits and seeking their aid. Rose hips are also good for seeking good luck. So, there's that one. There's agrimony, which has long tradition of being used to expel spirits, also a form of exorcism. But it could also be using it to smoke cleanse your house, or anywhere you may live, or even your car. Cause others to sleep, and even treat wounds. Pretty much every herb that you use for magical purpose has some form of healing purpose as well. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I bought hawthorn berries, long held as sacred, as it is believed to be what it was used to create Jesus' crown of thorns, now sees much use as an herbal medicine. And yes, there are many magical practitioners who still call upon Jesus, and there are Christian witches, there are pagans who incorporate some form of Christian aspects at times. I know in the community, sometimes there's a lot of people who, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, and I will try to link it somewhere up here, where people in our community frequently bash Christians. I'm not here to do that. I do still hold and believe in Jesus Christ. I still do believe in gods and goddesses. I still believe in an omnipotent power of the universe, and no matter what you call it, it answers back in some form. And how I look upon the gods and goddesses is they are part of that universal omnipotent power, and when you call upon a certain deity, it's like asking for that certain part of that presence to help you, if that makes sense. So if I'm calling upon Aphrodite, I'm saying, hey woman, I need some help here with my love life. So just giving you how I kind of view it. I know how I view it isn't the same for everybody, but yeah, that's how I see it. This is goldenrod. It is believed that if goldenrod makes a sudden appearance near your door or home, the unexpected good fortune is soon to arrive. Goldenrod has spiritual energetic benefits, also known as solidago, meaning to make whole. So, there's that. And I know I have a few more in here. I'm sure you can hear the clinking. You'll see what it all is in a moment. So yeah, okay. I have black salt, which is good for jinx removing, keeping away evil forces, and bad neighbors. I didn't get this for the bad neighbors part. For the most part, my neighbors are pretty good. But it's always good to have on hand, and it's one of those things you can make yourself, especially if you do have your own cauldron, but for ease of purposes and not having to put plain salt and rolling it around in a cauldron with something for endless hours until it becomes black salt, I buy it. I know there's another one in there. Yep, there it is down at the bottom. I bought graveyard dirt. Now, graveyard dirt is something that can be used in hoodoo, voodoo. It can be used beneficially as well as banefully, such as if you wanted to hex somebody. But it aids in spells and rituals to represent the element of earth, or aid in spells dealing with spirits, the dead, and other such necromantic intentions. But that's not the only reasons why you might use it. So again, if you're ever going somewhere and you're buying herbs and you're reading off this thing, just know that on this very small little label, they're giving you not a lot of information. You can add graveyard dirt to, say, if you wanted to do a ritual for protection, if you wanted to call on the spirits to aid with healing somebody. Frequently graveyard dirt can be used as just kind of like an energetic booster to what you're already asking for. So it's like I said in the ritual, how to create your own ritual candle. You know how I said if you add a little bit of cinnamon, it helps to speed up your ritual? Well, graveyard dirt just kind of like acts like an energetic strengthener, if that makes sense at all. So it doesn't have to be for what the label says it is. Again, anytime you're doing magical purposes, it's all in what your intention is. So keep that in mind. I got lavender flowers, often used for spells of love and healing, as well as to seek inner peace or work spells of prosperity and protection. I think you might be seeing a reoccurring theme here. Because that was the main reason why I went to go get these herbs, is because I decided that the community ritual that I started last week, and by the time you're watching this, I will have already done that video and uploaded that video because it'll happen on Monday. I decided I wanted to finish it on the channel, especially where I asked people to feed their own intentions and their own energy into it. I wanted to demonstrate how I was going to finish the candle and then start the ritual on camera so that you guys could see it. So I got a whole bunch of herbs. I'll bring up my dragon's blood oil. I'll probably record that tomorrow. Today's Saturday. I was going to do it today, but things happened. And yeah, I'll do that all on camera. So the last herb that I have is something that I also made a video of, and I will post it somewhere up here, is vervain. This is Verbena hastata. This is not the, I don't think this is the verbena that I made the full video on, but it's similar energetically. It's a powerful aid in warding off evil spirits and vampires. Also a great aid of divination, trances, dream magic, and creating love spells. But again, that's not the only purposes. So, there's vervain. Now, I have a few special things. This isn't one of them, and I'll bring out the other one. Those are candle holders for these types of candles. Now, I cannot tell you where I got these. Well, no. I cannot tell you where to get these, because the problem is I have only ever found these at my Pagan store. So, I'm sorry for that. I love these candle holders. I use them all the time. I have several of them, mainly because for different purposes. I tend to like to reuse the same candle holder over and over again if I have specific purposes in mind. Like, I have one of these next to me with a creativity candle in it already, so I'll reuse the same one because it's the same energy, you know. I will reuse the same one all the time for healing purposes, or if I'm calling upon love or money or protection. I tend to separate my energy for different purposes, but that's just me. You don't have to do that. You can just clear it off each time and reuse the same one over and over again. You don't have to do what I'm doing by any means or measure. It's just what I personally prefer to do, because then I feel like I'm charging the container that the candle is in, and it retains that same energy. That's just my own personal perspective. Let me put these down because I don't want to keep them up here. Okay. Now are the goodies. I got this beautiful selenite bowl. It's a little cup. And selenite is a really, really good stone for cleansing anything, really. If you made a mojo bag, if you have stones, if you have crystals or anything, you can put them on something selenite, be they a slab. You can, I got this mainly because I got some small stones and I was like, well, I'd like to cleanse them and everything, so I'll put them in this and let it do its thing. And yeah, I got this beautiful, beautiful angelite. This was made in Peru, or I should say it was obtained in Peru, and then they polished it, because you can see it's rough on this side, and then they polished the one side. This is angelite. It's one of those stones that I always gravitate towards. The label that was on it keeps falling off. I would really prefer it to stay on it because I like to keep track of where my stones come from. The next stone I got is a piece of green fluorite. Well, it's green and clear. It was one of those things when I was in the store. One of my acquaintances works there, and I was like, why is it always fluorite always pulls me? And she was like, well, do you need clarity and on anything? I'm like, well, yes, actually. She's like, well, that's why. This is apatite. I can't remember off the top of my head what its purpose is for. I will probably cover this stone in a future video, but I love apatite, and I used to have a small piece of it and then it broke. So I figured today, well, Thursday was the day to get a new one. And then, come here. Here comes the small stones. This is the last thing. And I have my receipt right next to me so I can clarify if I'm wrong. One thing for your home. If you are a person who feels they need a lot of protection, be they spiritually or even if it's from people, not necessarily spirits, but the two stones that work phenomenally to protect your home and your space are selenite and black tourmaline. These are 5 pieces of black tourmaline. And, you know, it never hurts to have a little extra protection. Black tourmaline and selenite are very inexpensive stones. The one thing that you have to be really careful with selenite with is you cannot expose it to water, otherwise it disintegrates. And they often recommend that you put a piece of selenite and a piece of black tourmaline in the corners of your house. Sometimes they even recommend burying stones, but I would not recommend burying selenite because all it's going to take is one good rainstorm and it's going to be disintegrated. And these 3 stones, I will have to look up their purpose because I don't remember them off the top of my head. I'll probably do another video on crystals soon. These are muscovite, which she told me are a form of mica, but they all have different energetic purposes. So I will look those up and do maybe a future video on crystals soon. So yeah, that concludes everything I bought from my Pagan store, and now I am going to get right into a reading. So hold on to your seats.